Have you seen Chuck Norris lately? He's still kicking butt and staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he looks more jacked than ever and seems to have more energy than guys half his age. And it's all thanks to Morning Kick, a revolutionary new daily drink from Roundhouse Provisions that combines ultra-potent greens like spirulina and kale with probiotics, prebiotics, collagen, and even ashwagandha. Just mix with water, stir, and enjoy. Unlike other green drinks out there, this one tastes exactly like strawberry lemonade and has hundreds of 5-star reviews. Go to roundhouseprovisions.com/save44 for up to 44% off your regular priced order. Plus, every purchase is backed by a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to experience smoother digestion, a boost of energy, and just an overall healthier body, then go to roundhouseprovisions.com/save44 today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Results can vary.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The following podcast may contain discussions supported by science that may be considered dangerous to some listeners and conspiracy theorists. Discretion is advised.
The 3 Down Greencast is brought to you by the Pile of Bones Brewing Company. Home delivery available in Regina at sassbeerdelivery.ca. Welcome to the 3 Down Greencast. You are listening to the internet's only Sergio Castillo podcast.
I am, as what's said in The Big Short, I am jacked. I am jacked to the tits.
I'm Joel Gasson with John Fraser, as always, and yes, we had to reconvene this evening, because if you hadn't noticed, when our sort of weekly episode came out, it came out on a Monday for a change, which is different for us, because John has decided that he's going to curl this year.
Yes.
As he normally does. And so Tuesdays kind of became unavailable. And, of course, the very first time we go to Monday, the old, hey, something really important happened.
Yes.
That's like the second you finish recording, pretty much. I was like the next day, first business hours, the whole thing. Because we can go back here Tuesday morning, about 8:30, I'm at work. Decide to check my phone for something. And all of a sudden, I have like all these Twitter notifications. And I'm like, what? Why do I have so many Twitter notifications at 8:30 in the morning on Tuesday? I haven't even tweeted anything yet.
Thinking that we said something stupid to the podcast as soon as your phone's blowing up like that.
Yeah, and I was like, I haven't even like tweeted anything today, but okay. And then I look and I'm like, oh. So
I honestly thought when the news broke this morning, the first text I checked was in my fantasy football group chat, and it was from my buddy Adam, who works here as a producer at Global. I thought he was messing with me because he sent the screenshot that the Blue Bombers had acquired Sergio. And I thought, okay, it's not April Fool's Day. It's maybe, okay, let's like, as a fantasy football league, let's pull a little prank on Fraser. It'll be funny. And yet, it is real. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, my favorite football team, went out and acquired for the BC Lions my guy, Sergio Castillo, and I am jacked. I am excited. Sergio is back. Like my bro crush on Sergio started when the Bombers couldn't find a kicker that could do squat. And here we are years later, the Bombers don't have kickers that can do squat, and they bring back in my guy, Sergio Castillo. And I don't know if you can hear the excitement in my voice, Joel, but like this is
yeah.
I can't believe this actually happened.
Yeah, I mean you've we'll pull back the curtain a bit as we do on the show a lot. Sometimes you fake enthusiasm about things and you get very animated about a lot of things, but I think there is pure unbridled joy in your voice right now that I don't think many of our listeners, at least on this version of the podcast, perhaps on your previous podcast had, but on this one I don't think they've truly experienced. Like, you weren't even this excited on this program after the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won the frickin' Grey Cup.
It's because I was so hungover. I'm not gonna lie. I went into CTV Morning Live, and we had a panel discussion. Stephanie was on with me and Quid Magnuson, and like the worst part was the chief of police was coming to do an update afterwards, and I'm sure I still reeked of booze. Like, it was one of those moments. Like, I'm very anti-drinking and driving, and I don't have any doubt in my mind. Like, I had stopped drinking and started puking after the Bombers won the Grey Cup, so my excitement was tempered by a colossal hangover that day that I had to go in the next day at 7 a.m. and be on CTV. And I'm sure, like, I looked like shit. Like, I was clearly hung. But this is, like, to also peel back the curtain, I usually leave for work and to drop Max off at school at about 8:40. So, as any parent knows, it is unbridled chaos in your house right before you load the kids in the car for school, for daycare, whatever. So the last thing I can do is check my phone. Like, I am like, okay, let's go, get in. Everybody parks like a douche when they drop off their kids at Hugh Cairns. Like, if you're listening to this and you have a kid at Hugh Cairns, stop parking like a douche. So drop Max off, go to work, walk into the door it ends, and lo and behold, there it is. My phone has blown up. And I'm thinking the same thing as you. I'm like, what did I possibly say in the podcast? I say some dumb shit sometimes. What did I say that was that stupid that my text, my WhatsApp, my Twitter's all blowing up? And instead it was the literal joy that Sergio was back. And legitimately, like, Lacey's on mat leave right now, and she's going to be real mad. I am buying a Sergio jersey, and there's actually a poll on my Twitter, @FraserPXP, as to whether I should get Castillo or Sergio. Sergio is winning 62 to 38%, so yeah, I'm thinking a number 41 Sergio jersey is going to happen.
I mean, you've been talking about this jersey forever. You said that if Castillo returned to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you were going to get the Sergio Castillo jersey.
I love the royal blue and the Sergio. It's just a win. Like, but like, aside from all this, Joel, aside from all my excitement because I have this bro crush on Sergio, he's legitimately really good.
He is. There's no question about that. I mean, I don't think the Bombers would be interested in bringing him in, obviously, if he wasn't, if it was just a fun name that we had fun with. But, I mean, it's more than that. The guy's been a proven kicker. He's been proven to the point where he's gotten a little bit of a taste of the NFL. And so he's very worthy of this. And now they're going to, he's going to have to earn his way into the lineup probably like anyone else. At least that's what Mike O'Shea is saying right now.
Sure.
I mean, whether that actually happens or not, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, this is still, we had to do this basically today. We're going to be completely honest. This isn't going to be very long.
No.
But this was on brand for us. It was something that pretty much had to happen. And, I mean, it brought a smile to my face this morning. Not that I was having a bad day or anything like that, but it was just one of those moments where I was like, this is cool. This is fun. Sports is supposed to be fun. And then I texted you like 4 things before you finally replied because of all your, usual morning stuff. And I was like, so we have to do an episode tonight, right?
The best part was I'm like, well, I'm going to curling and I will very much be there. But like, of all the things we've done and embrace the dumb and my genuine bro crush on Sergio, for this to happen, like this is not a thing I thought would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. It's cool. It's fun. It's dumb. And John Hodge, I trust John Hodge and I trust the Blue Bomber website. I just want to wait one moment before I order my number 41 Castillo jersey. And I think the other part of my joy here too is that my Blue Bombers were missing one piece to be a very good football team. To be like, their only weakness was in special teams. and to not only shore up that weakness, but shore up that weakness with my boy Sergio. It's a great day. The team feels complete. Sergio's there. Lacey's going to be pissed because I'm going to order a $200 jersey maybe tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about that part of it before, where the most glaring weakness for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers was, of course, their kicking game, and it's been, a long conversation. And they've given their guys opportunities to kind of get through it, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. But it feels very strange. Like, obviously, we had nothing to do with this. They've been talking to this trade with the BC Lions, because I'll be honest, I had completely forgotten that he had opted out for the NFL, and that and that the BC Lions still owned his rights. So that's something I honestly had completely forgotten about. But regardless, the deed got done, and whether we had anything to do with it or not, I think we should take some credit, because the campaign's been running for a number of weeks now. I mean, I've been running the campaign for basically any missed kick I'd ever seen in every professional sport, just running out the Sergio gif just for the fun of it. But I think Winnipeg was the most obvious destination given everything that's happened from them, and it is something that they had to shore up and something they can shore up now, and takes away the most obvious way they may lose the West Final or the Grey Cup.
Right. I did love a text I got from my friend Damien, though. He's like, I envision now, and he's an Argos fan. He's like the only living Argos fan I know. He sent me a text. He's like, okay, your boy Sergio's going to make every single kick until he's in the Grey Cup against my Argos and miss for the win. And you know what? If that happens, I will still love Sergio.
I mean, you would have to, because the kicks would still got the Blue Bombers to the Grey Cup, and as you've talked about, and as I believe as I subscribe to with the Steelers after they've won a couple of times, after your team wins the championship, you get a bit of a grace period before you actually get mad about losing games again. 3
years in the CFL because the league's so small, 5 years in every other sport.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a fair assessment. So yeah, Sergio's back, and we're looking forward to him being out there, and we will definitely be providing weekly Sergio updates here on the official podcast of Sergio Castillo.
That's right. I hope that John Hodge is now attending practice. Can we make sure he's going to practice? Like, never mind his teaching job. Let's make sure he goes to practice so he can document how well Sergio kicks in practice.
I'm sure if not through Haji, I'm sure we can connect with someone who can make sure we know how our boy is doing in practice every single day. I'm sure
we might have to add like an 80s news theme, like it's Sergio watch, and get like Jeff Hamilton or like Darren Bombing on or somebody like that, and say, all right, let's practice for the Bombers today. How does Sergio do? And that's it. That's all we bring him on for.
I mean, it's a possibility. It's something we could definitely look into. I mean, it sounds like a lot of editing, which you know how I kind of feel about that. But
I will make the music sounds with my mouth, and then we'll just have to get like Bomber or somebody on here to just update us.
Okay, we'll look into that.
All right,
we'll look into that. So before we get into our final topic of the day, I guess we should mention our sponsor, the Pile of Bones Brewing Company.
Yes.
And for celebratory, what's in the glass today, John, I guess, because it's not this week, because it was yesterday.
Right. Celebratory, I had alluded that I had some white IPAs in my fridge, and it was actually the professor on Twitter that mentioned, hey, what a great occasion to have some white IPAs to celebrate Sergio being back with the Blue Bombers. So I am already into my second one of those after the technical difficulties we had. If you're listening on Twitter, this is now like 20 minutes past where we thought we would be done.
Yes. For me, if you've listened to this week's episode already, I pulled another one out of the fridge. That would be the Nokomis Brown Ale. So
going back to back. That's I believe that's a rare back-to-back beer for the two episodes, but
it is. But I mean, when you record basically 24 hours apart, I guess that's kind of
that's fair.
That's kind of what happens.
Yeah, I get it
now. Since we are here, we might as well talk about some other piece of interesting CFL news that just came down the wire that will be of interest to the audience and to Rider fans, and that would be, according to Dave Naylor, the league has decided that any unvaccinated player won't be able to travel come basically the division finals in the Grey Cup, because that's when Canada's basically, if you're not fully vaccinated, you won't get to fly, even in private charters and that sort of thing. Rule is going to kick in. And so apparently that's going to be a rule. So, because there's a lot of talk and speculation about what was going to happen with that based on, well, it's a problem out west considering how far apart the teams are. And, Edmonton and Calgary can kind of get there quickly. Everyone else is, more or less within flying distance for that many people. But the Eastern teams have, a variety of options to get to their games, especially Toronto Hamilton, how close they are. So there would have been a bit of a competitive unbalance there if, they sort of worked around that a little bit, especially out east. And, of course, there's also a player safety issue if we had players driving to playoff games in December by themselves.
Oh, yeah. On dodgy highways. We've all driven the 401 in Eastern Canada.
Yeah, well, and I think then the Western highways would probably be worse because, it's humid enough in Ontario usually that the salt does something and they really salt the hell out of their highways. But
it's true. It's just gross everywhere.
Yeah, and then that, and of course, there's also the other added benefit of, unless you play for Ottawa or Edmonton, James Wilder Jr., this may be an opportunity for you to get off the fence and finally get vaccinated. So really just a no-brainer decision by the league to come up with this rule.
Well, I love it, right? I feel like the league, with the 85% rule, was almost giving unvaccinated players a loophole to not have to get the shot, which just endangers everybody they're on the playing surface with. So the league is saying, listen, if you're not on the team charter, you're not playing. I like the fact that it has some teeth to it. I almost feel like it's kind of like the vaccine passports we've seen in several provinces. It's the final incentive that some of these guys need, because I'm sure that's a large reason why Trevor Harris went out and got his at his own admission during the bye week, right?
He apparently flew home to the United States to get Johnson and Johnson, so he would only need the single shot to be considered fully vaccinated, which, hey, he did it. The reasons don't matter. They could be fully, just professional, and that's fine, but at least he did it. So I will give him credit for that, at least, yes.
Right, exactly. I feel like we've hammered on some guys, and all of a sudden, James Wilder Jr. has come out and become the new lightning rod. But
because if you've missed it, he's tweeted that he tweeted that it's been fun, y'all. Is basically what he said. I guess he doesn't know the complete details of it. That this is not going to affect him because the Edmonton Elks will not be playing in either the West or the East final.
There's a chance, right? CFL, dangerous things have happened, but no, you're absolutely correct, Joel. I'm glad that the league did this. I'm glad to finally put some more teeth on this, and I want to see every team be 100% vaccinated, as I want to see every human be 100% vaccinated, because science rules, as the great Bill Nye has said, and let's all just believe in that.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about. The football reasons are secondary, quite frankly, whether teams, whatever your reasons behind it, it comes down to making sure we get as many humans as we can vaccinated, and that's really what matters here. So whatever gets you over the edge to do it is good. From what I've been told, the Riders still have 2 guys holding out. Neither of them are starters, though. So should they get to the West Final, or I guess the East Final, because the crossover's in play, don't look for that to be an issue for them.
It's true. And I also wish that I had my wallet with me right now, because I would definitely order a Sergio jersey right now as I finish off my second beer.
Hey, Jacques Cartier. Show's over.